Hello King Fit Nation, I am Andrew, and today we are doing a functional circuit with just one piece of equipment. I'm using a 15-pound dumbbell. You might have a 10-pounder, a 12-pounder laying around, a 25-pounder. We'll find modifications just for you. So, before we get started with our circuit, we're gonna do a little bit of a warm-up. I'm gonna be doing jumping jacks today, okay? And you think jumping jacks, that's easy. Most of us could be doing jumping jacks a little bit better, and let me show you how. All right, we're gonna be starting with 30-second jumping jacks. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So we're doing jump jacks. You shouldn't hear a sound. Nice and light on the feet, and as soon as you touch the ground, you're gonna be bouncing right back up. I'm extending my hands far out there. I'm not letting my elbows bend. All right? Just like so. Hopefully you can't hear a sound. Great. Just starting with 30 seconds of traditional jumping jacks. I'm getting my shoulders moving. I'm getting my hips and that frontal plane moving. Heart rate up there. Trying to get my muscles a little warm. Now I'm taking a 30-second break here before I'm going to do another 30 seconds of jumping jacks as well. So we're going to change up the jumping jacks this way. And we're going to do some seal jacks. Really getting those chest and anterior deltoids going. Here we go. So very similar to the normal jumping jack. Now we're just opening those arms versus letting them go above our head. Hopefully you're doing this with me. Ten seconds left. Nice. Great. And during this 30-second break, I want you to just get those shoulders warmed. We're working that rotator cuff here. I like to alternate, get a little bit deeper into the stretch than this way. I feel good stretching those shoulders. They should be burning a little bit already, your shoulders, because we're doing some jumping jacks. Long lever jumping jacks. Long lever being out there. So puts a little bit more on the shoulder because we have to lift our arms. All right, one more set. Now we're going to be crossing our arms and our legs. So we're still getting some chest stretching and anterior deltoid stretching, but as my hands cross, my arms cross in front, now I'm getting those shoulders, those rear delts, and those shoulder muscles in the back, the scapula, a little bit more involved. And I'm crossing my legs too. Also a coordination challenge. Bring this to your local gym. There we go. All right. Nice job. Okay, I'm feeling pretty warmed up, so let's get started with our circuit. All right, as promised, I have a 15-pound dumbbell here. Let's get started. We're gonna be doing a 3-exercise circuit, doing some dynamic movements, okay? So our first exercise, I'm gonna do a chop. And if you notice, I'm going to interlock my fingers like so here in the front. Got my palms gripping on the dumbbell pretty well. And we're doing a chop as if you're chopping wood, right? And we're gonna be going for 30 seconds here. Hopefully you're joining me. So get out that dumbbell you have. And pardon me if my exact timing is off. My stopwatch is kind of far away, and my eyesight isn't as good as it used to be. So this is just between the hips, going into a squat, letting that weight kind of go back to the heels as I go down, and then back up. My hands are going above my head, elbows straight. Nice. That's going to be followed by a Heisman. Now I'm going to grab the dumbbell like so, get a good grip, and I'm going to be doing 30 seconds each side, all right? And I'm just taking a 10-second break, 5 to 10-second break in between as I just prepare my body for that next movement. Getting some great rotational muscles involved here. You can see I'm bringing my hip flexor. My hips are coming up as my knee comes up there. I'm twisting my torso. My shoulders are ending up that way. There we go. Beautiful. Now I'm going to be switching sides, making sure that side feels good too. You might notice that one side is a little tighter than the other. It's a little harder to rotate one direction. That's okay. That means we can spend some time stretching a little bit more on that side later on during the cool down phase. Shoulders should be feeling this. And if you notice, I really have control over my weight. I'm not just plopping back to that back foot. Got a little bit of a balance challenge here as I do a full body dynamic movement here. And last one here. Nice. And this next one is going to be a reach, okay? So if my dumbbell is in my right hand, I'm gonna reach with my left foot. I'm gonna row, and then I'm coming right back up, okay? Stepping forward, almost like I'm going to tie my shoe. That front leg bends a little bit. That back leg is staying a little bit more straight. This is working a lot of those acceleration muscles. So when you fall, you need those muscles to kind of help you not fall as fast, decelerate. And these are the muscles that are working right here. So I'm going down, making sure that scapula is working, right? So I'm pulling those shoulder blades back, and then bringing my elbow to the midline of my body, okay? Switching sides, now it's my left hand, going with my right leg. You might also feel this in your hamstrings a little bit. Those hamstrings get a great workout with the reach row, and we don't isolate those hamstrings a lot. Not in normal day function, but also at the gym. So if you're a little sore tomorrow on the hamstrings and you're wondering why, that's probably what it is. Keep it going. Okay. Great. Lost track of time a little bit, but you get the idea. I was doing 30 seconds of each of those exercises, 5 to 10 seconds, just to get into the next exercise. And we're gonna do that whole circuit once, take a little breather, 30 to 45 seconds, depending on how you're feeling, maybe a minute if your heart rate's up there a little bit, and then we're gonna do it again. So 2 to 3 sets is what I suggest for you. Okay, so we got that dynamic warm-up started, and we're gonna move on now to our strength training exercises. So I have my 15-pound dumbbell here, and we are gonna start with a squat press, okay? So I'm gonna have the dumbbell right here by my shoulder. Give you a side view here, it's kind of resting here, all right? The elbows around the midline of my body. And we're gonna be doing a squat and do a press, doing 12 each side. Here we go. Right up. And if you notice, I have my palm just facing in, that's fine. That's a nice neutral place to go, 3. You can also bring your palm facing out if you want. That feels comfortable. If it doesn't feel comfortable, I'd say go back to here. This is a little more comfortable. You really extend all the way up. You got some stabilization there. All the way up. Try to bring those hips as low as the knees. All right? 12 on that side, bringing it down, switching sides. The deeper the squat you go, the more muscles you're kind of working. You'll start to feel them in your adductors, these muscles on the inside of your leg. Some people want to kind of just squat to there. If you have some knee problems, you do what you can, okay? If you can get a little bit deeper into your squat, please do. Elbow right by the body, resting right above the shoulder here, nice and relaxed. Squatting first, driving those hips all the way forward, and bringing that dumbbell all the way up. Again, that's my neutral. If I want, I can bring it out like so. I like to try to stay inside the door frame. If you imagine a door frame around you, that helps. The elbow kind of tracks out a little bit. So it starts in, it tracks out a little bit, and comes up. That's fine. Or you can keep it a little bit more inside. Whatever feels comfortable for you. I know some people might be like, there's an exact perfect way to do this. Feel free to share that if you must. But we're kind of following the body's natural movements. Okay, that was our squat chop. Next up, that was our squat press. So next up, I'm gonna be getting on one leg here. If this is in my right, the dumbbell's in my right hand, I'm gonna be in my left leg, okay? Shoulders down and back. I like to imagine I'm pushing my chest out. That helps my shoulders get down and back. And all I'm doing is curling nice and slow down. Up, 2, 3, 4. Down, 2, 3, 4. If you need that foot that's lifted, it can be a little kickstand. You know, if you're falling over, you don't have to fall over like this. Just bring that foot down and give you a little balance help as you go nice and slow down. A lot of people want to let that weight fall quick. We want to keep it controlled for this exercise, nice and slow. You see I'm rotating internally there and making my palm face the shoulder. If you want to work a little bit more of that forearm, feel free to do that, that hammer curl, leaving that palm facing in. And again, counting and talking, not my strong suit. We'll say that's 12. And we're switching sides. Now, the dumbbell is in my left hand, my right foot is gonna be stabilizing, my left foot lifts just a little bit, and then I'm gonna be starting nice and slow up and down. Make sure to put that chest out. That helps you get those shoulders down and back. And that'll help get rid of the anterior deltoid trying to help the bicep do the curl, right? It's kind of easy to do that. We don't want to do that. Shoulders down and back, push that chest out. Hopefully that's why the guys at the gym are pushing their chest out, looking at themselves in the mirror. A little kickstand help if you need, nice and tall in that hip complex. I don't want you to sink into your hip. You pretty much put all of your body weight plus this onto one leg. So this is a little bit of a hip exercise too. You'll be feeling that in the glutes, piriformis, which lays under those glutes. Also working balance just a little bit. We'll say this 11. And nice and slow down. Make sure you have that good form for each of those exercises. So, like I mentioned, we do a 5 exercise circuit. That's our first 2 exercises. I did, one side and I did the other side. So it gets to be a little bit longer than you think. So far we have done 4 exercises. Squat press on the right, squat press on the left, bicep curl on that right hand, bicep curl on that left hand, all right? And now we're gonna be going into another great shoulder exercise here. Back to that crush press. I'm gonna press my palms together, and that's gonna help me activate those chest muscles. And this is from our wonderful friends at Athlete X. There we go. So we're bringing it down here. So it's kind of a front raise, but by crushing that grip, you just get a little bit more muscle activation. Nice and slow up. Slight bend in the knees. Keep those abs tight. Glutes tight. Nice and slow down. And you can change the way you do this too. I had more of a straight elbow. If you want to bend those elbows and bring it up, keep crushing that, crushing those palms together. You can really feel the anterior deltoids and those pecs get in here too. You can bend those elbows, make it a little easier. Bring it up, that helps. You can really feel those muscles. Or you can have a little bit straighter of an elbow, with a longer lever. So the further away your arms are from your body, the longer that lever, the harder an exercise is. The closer it is, the more bent your elbows are, the closer your hands are to your body, the easier it is. Out here, you got more, weight fighting against you, gravity's kind of fighting against you, and you have to also lift more of your arm weight, in a sense. Cool, so that was 5 exercises, really 3, and we did 2 sides on 2 of them. And we don't take much of a break in between those exercises. We're really just going into the next one. After you've done all 5, then you can take a 30-second break, a minute break, a minute and a half, whatever you feels right for you. Again, as you get better at these, I want you to think about taking away some of that rest time, okay? Because we want to keep that heart rate going. All right. So we're going to do these all one more time, and I'm going to show you a couple of progressions to make it a little more fun and to give yourself a little bit more of a workout. Okay? So this first one, I'm gonna start here. All right? This is our squat press, and I'm just going to add a transverse movement. So how this is going to work is I'm going to go straight down like a squat normal, and as I press, I'm just going to be twisting my torso just a little bit to the left as I press with my right hand. Back to neutral as I squat. And 4, I believe. I do lift the heel of my far foot, which is my right foot. So if it's in my right hand, I lift my right foot as I twist towards the left, and that'll just help. If you've got some knee sensitivity, it just helps kind of take the torque out of the knee a little bit. Everything else is still true in regards to how we did it originally. All right, I'm still bringing that hand, that arm all the way up. My shoulder is nice and stabilized. My elbow is going completely straight. And we'll say that's 12. You know, it's a similar exercise, but adding that twist makes it more difficult. We get more muscles incorporated as we're doing that twist. Let's do the other side. All right, let's see if I can also count to 12 properly this time. So we're squatting neutral, lifting that left heel just a little bit, and a twist to the right, and I can feel my obliques. I can feel my transverse abs getting involved, keeping my belly button drawn in. Already lost count. We're standing at 6 and 7, nice and tall as you twist, and 9, and 10, 11, and 12. Back to neutral. Wonderful. All right. So we're going to go back to our bicep curl, okay? I'm going to start with my left hand this time because I started with my right last time. So that means I'm going to be on my right foot, slight bend in that knee. So to make this a little bit of a progression, you can add some kind of unstable surface under you. Maybe a towel, if you have a Bosu ball, that's great. A pillow, some kind of pad. You know, I don't want you to stand in your bed and hurt yourself, but something like a mattress, if you could put a mattress or something like that on the ground, just that instability will make all those little foot muscles work, make your hips have to stabilize, your knee have to stabilize, and it really adds a lot to the workout, okay? This time, I'm just gonna be doing a hammer curl, so I'm working, again, a little bit more of the forearm. So if you want your forearms to look nice, let's get that going with that hammer curl. Shoulders down and back, remember, slight bend in that knee, and don't sink into that hip. Stay nice and tall in that hip. I think that was 8. Don't cheat. If I'm doing less than I'm supposed to, don't cheat. In fact, I should do a couple extra. Gotta practice what I preach, right? All right, we're gonna be switching sides, and I am finally getting to the point where I'm so warm that I'm sweating. So I'm going to take this off and continue onto that right side. You can hear the beautiful city of Chicago behind us. Slight bend in that knee, nice and tall in that hip, shoulders down and back, pushing out that chest a little bit. I'm doing that hammer curl. Nice and slow up, nice and slow down. So, you know, 15 pounds isn't really challenging. It's not going to put on a whole bunch of, you know, bicep muscles, but what I'm doing is getting my heart rate up there, being on one leg, I'm working my balance, I'm making my whole body work together as I stabilize in that hip, as my knee has to stabilize as well. All those little foot muscles are working. So it really becomes a full body exercise, even with a weight that you might not get as much of a bicep, you know, pump on. Nice. There we go. I think this next one is 12. We'll do one extra, just in case you're trying to cheat. Perfect. Okay, and lastly, we're gonna go back to that crush press front raise, all right? So again, I mentioned you can do a little bit longer of a lever, keeping those elbows straight. Still try to keep those shoulders down and back a little bit. I don't want to concave my chest. Still shoulders down and back a bit. Crushing that dumbbell so I can really get some inner pec action. I really want to feel that right in here, all right? So I'm doing a little bit longer lever with these first 6. So that's 5 and 6. Or you can bring it a little bit closer, bend those elbows a little bit. Still really feel those pec muscles firing. Even here, because I'm crushing the handle with my hands. You can hear that Chicago accent come out. Hands, calendar, talent. I'm working on it, guys. Going a little higher there. Yeah, and kind of play around. You can go a little higher if you want. You can just go straight out, right? So I can go up here. I can go here. I can keep the arms longer. When I go past this area, I'm starting to work a little bit more traps, right? And that's not necessarily what I'm going for that exercise, but you know, really movement is movement. If you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, then you know, it's acceptable. I would say with this, if you're trying to work the pecs, those anterior deltoids, just go about as high as the shoulders, maybe a little higher. Crushing that grip. So we got the bend, back one, and we got the long lever, front press. Whew. All right, so that was 2 sets. I gave you a progression on that first exercise, the squat press with a transverse movement. So, you know, this is a great beginner's circuit. Try to do at least two, probably more close to 3 sets, okay? 12 reps, maybe up to 15. You want those last couple of reps to be pretty difficult. If you get to 12 and it's a little easy, see if you can go to 15. You'll know you've went to failure when you start to compromise your form, okay? So if those shoulders start to concave, you're starting to wiggle up on some of these exercises, like if you're, you know, if you're trying to press and you're kind of like pushing it up quick, it's not a horrible thing to push it up quick, but if you're doing it because you're out of steam on that shoulder, it's good to know that now you're no longer doing them with good form. Okay, so avoid that unless you're trying to get a couple more out, and just make sure you go down really slow. Right? And what we don't want to do is like use our body to bring it up. I don't want you to hurt your neck. You know, just you'll feel the difference. Start with good form, and when you start to feel that good form compromise, you've probably done enough reps. Okay? So 2 to 3 sets of all of these exercises, these 5 exercises, 5 to 10 seconds in between as you set up for the next exercise. And after you've done all 5, give yourself a 30-second to a 90-second break before you do another set. All right? If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I will definitely reach out if you are looking for progressions or regressions. But stay tuned. I'm going to have a lot more videos coming your way in regards to boxing as well as functional training. So we'll see you next time.